All right, guys, working on a misfire issue going on with my 2000 Ford Ranger. This is the 2.5 liter four-cylinder. I was driving to work, and all of a sudden you can feel it misfiring about halfway to my commute to work. My commute to work is mostly interstate, about 30 minutes, and about halfway in that period I started feeling a misfire. Well, the issue was I was not getting a misfire code at the time because it was so intermittent. And let me show you how I diagnosed this. Long story short, it's a fuel injector, but I'll show you how I get to it. So started feeling it misfiring. So I brought up ForeScan, which, if you know, it's a great little tool to have. I think it's like $10 for an Android or an iPhone. It's free for your computer for most things, and you just need an OBD2 Bluetooth adapter, which I'll put a link below for the one I use with Android phones. Anyway, there was no P0, 301, 302, 303 when I first started looking into this. Now, as you can tell, there's a P0 303 cylinder 3 misfire. Let's see if I can get that to focus there. But if you run into the case where you don't have a misfire code and it's a Ford and you have ForeScan, go into test right here. Let me get out of this. So you'll see something that looks like this, and you will see mode 6 test results for specific monitored systems. Now this is like the raw data that the system used to find out whether or not to issue a check engine light. So if you scroll down here, misfire rate and type A threshold for cylinder 1, 2, 3, and 4. And even though I have a 4-cylinder, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10 are all listed here, but they're not in use. And what you'll see is cylinder 3, I have a value of 24.58% is showing a misfire, and I think that's rotation. So for so 1/4 of all my rotations is registering a misfire. In other words, the crankshaft is not accelerating like it should if there was a combustion hitting the chamber. So the limit for the check engine light is 16.51%, and it says less than or equal to. But because now, currently, it's showing 24.58% misfire rate, it now sets a check engine light. But if the check engine light weren't there, you go through here and you can say which value is the highest. Obviously, cylinder 1, 0%, 2 is 0%, 4 is 0%, and 3 is 24.58. You know that one's misfiring, or if it's 5 or 10%, that's the one we're misfiring. So now we'll stop the test and we'll go into real-time data. This is recorded, but what I'm going to show you is I put one thing I was looking at, and it doesn't always help, but it can help. If you ever watched Paul Danner's, Scanner Danner's videos, he said there are some ways to kind of infer some information based off fuel trims. And what you'll see here, this is the count, the number of misfires. This is a graph that goes up or down if it's currently detecting a misfire, long-term fuel trim, short-term, and I'll go over the rest here in a second. But anyway, again, this is intermittent. Actually, sorry, I need to open. This was the data that I recorded. All right, so you can see the misfire is detected, it's going away, and it flatlines, there's no more happening. But every time it starts to misfire, my fuel trim shoots up. And one thing you'll notice, when it goes up, look at this fuel trim number. Short-term fuel trims are like 14. So according to Paul Danner and some videos that he has shown, a ignition-based misfire can cause short-term fuel trims to go up, but not this much. If I recall, his video may have went up like 6 or 7% in the fuel trims, and then he showed unplugging an injector, and you would get a higher percentage. And another thing that led me to believe that this was a fuel injector issue is because on the 2.5, 2.3, pre-2001 and a half Rangers, these engines have 8 spark plugs per cylinder. And the way these work, Now, I don't care what you read online, but the way they actually work is 2 spark plugs will fire at the same time on the compression stroke and the exhaust stroke. It's not one side fires on one side fires on the other. That's a misconception that's been around on the internet for a long time, and that's not true. Both spark plugs on the exhaust and the intake side fire at the same time on compression and exhaust. This is a waste spark system, dual spark system. To have an ignition-based misfire on this car, you have to have a double fault. You would have to have a complete coil go out and the spark plug go out on the same cylinder. So a coil on one side, which knocks out the whole bank, and then also the like a spark plug or wire on the opposite side. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying it's very, you know, we're deductive reasoning here and statistics and everything. I'm not going to go towards that unless I have to. I'm going to immediately think it's fuel related, and based off these high fuel trim numbers, that's what I decided to go with here. Let me get that zoom. So one good thing about Fords is they have a injector circuitry test PID. So there's a generic one, INJ_F, which means there's any fault. And the output it'll shows either no fault or it will show which injector is faulting. And if I highlight over when it's actually, you know, screwing up here, you'll see this one is showing a number 3 fault. And this one is the specific PID for injector 3. And this one is saying yes fault. And now let's take a look at what this is. This parameter derived internal to the ECU identifies whether an electrical fault exists in the specific harness, connector, or injector. So we are having a fault with the injector electrically. So this right now we're thinking it's not clogged, it's you know, it's not stuck open, it's not stuck closed physically in a sense. It's the computer is checking resistance constantly. And what it's finding out is that it's not matching up with what it should be. And so we can now narrow it down to just a few things. It's either the injector itself, it's the wiring harness, or we have a computer issue. Well, if the fuel rail was a little bit easier to get to, one of the best ways, especially, you know, no extra equipment or anything else, take injector 3, put it in a known good bank, which is in the other 3. So you could take injector 3 and swap it with injector, you know, cylinder 1, and then check to see if you have a P0301 or your mode 6 is showing that cylinder 1 is having a misfire. That means the issue followed the injector. If you switch it and you still have issues with cylinder 3, that means it's not the injector. It's either the harness or the ECU. Now, granted, this is like a 23-year-old truck. There's possibility you could have a harness issue. I mean, the insulation breaks down. It can be shortened out just over years of time of heat cycles. And also, it depends if you park outside. There may be some, you know, rats or critters that got in here and, you know, gnawed into some stuff. But the way I'm going to do this, I don't want to, the way to get to injector 3 is you have to take the intake manifold off. It's just too buried in there, or the upper plenum of the intake manifold, this port right here. Once I've loosened it up, I can get access to at least to the connectors and everything. So what I'm going to do is I have this tool, and I've had it for a little bit. This is a fuel injector pulser, and they're relatively cheap. Maybe, let me see if I can get the light here a little bit better. 30 bucks, $35, something like that. And you get 2 alligator clips or jumper clips that attach to your battery. And then it has, I've taped these up, it has 2 female spade connectors right here. And then you just got to get a injector connector for your type of vehicle. So you just go to junkyard, get one of these. I break off the tab that keeps it locked on, so you can just slide it on and off. And what this does is it has 4 settings. And let me see here. I got to read the paper here to tell you what the differences are. Setting 1. So when you first turn it on, you'll get a mode light up. Setting 1 is it'll pulse one time at a pulse width of 250 milliseconds. So that's pretty much a quick on and it turns immediately off. Mode 2 will do 50 pulses with a pulse width of 7 milliseconds. 3 is 100 pulses, that's about 3.5 milliseconds. And the last one, it will just do 50 pulses every 1450 milliseconds, so 1.5 seconds. So this will just keep pulsing, 4-wheel. So the way this is supposed to go, let's assume that you're looking for a flow rate issue, right? So I'm talking about, let's say we don't know it's electrical, or we think it's sticking. The proper way to do this is to turn the key on to prime the fuel system, and then you'll have a fuel pressure gauge like this right here. And on this 98 to 298 up, I think this is returnless, so we should be starting out like 60 psi. And what you do is you put this tester on each injector, run it, see what the psi drop is, and then reprime it, go to the next injector, see what the drop is, and that essentially tells you if there's any difference in your flow rate. All right, but this one, we really don't even have to do this because I'll show you what happens. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to connect this injector 1, and again, it's not injector 1 having the issue, it's cylinder 3. So I'll lift this up. I've already got them disconnected down here. All right, so that's on cylinder 1. I'll take these and attach to this right here, this right here, and it turns it on. I'm gonna do 3. Again, 3 was 100 pulses, 3.5 millisecond width, and see if you can listen to this. Okay, you hear the buzzing as the light goes on, right? That sounds good. That's what it should sound like. All right, now let's do cylinder 3. I'm gonna disconnect this. I don't know why I'm just doing it. Now, is it okay to run an injector dry? I don't know, but for a short test, I don't think it's going to be an issue. All right. All right, cylinder 3. We'll turn it on. I'm going to mode 3. Listen. Watch the light and listen. Nothing. So let me show you that. Let me reset it. Let me go to 1. Again, this one does just 1. Can I hear that click? All right, now let's do this continuous mode and see what you can hear. So you got nothing. We'll see if I can get to do what I was seeing earlier. All right, here we go. See? Notice it did at the first point and then it went away. Okay, you can hear it again. Nothing. It's pulsing though. Still nothing. Nothing. All right, so there you go. Let me go back to 1 so you can hear that a little bit better. All right. Hopefully you saw all that and you heard everything, but as you noticed, it's pretty much almost dead. Now, I had to get to this point. It was a little bit more intermittent when I was driving it a few days ago, and then it got a little bit worse staying this way. But before I started shooting the video, I could do one of these pulses. It sounded good for a second and it started dying off towards the end, and then it'd be dead. Then I go to one and do a single pulse and I guess loosen it up or whatever it's doing, or reset it, and I could do it again, and you know, it'll be fine, and they'll drag off and fall off. But anyway, this is how I diagnosed this as a bad injector. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this saves you some money and you don't have to you know, have a headache on this. But I just wanted to confirm this was an injector before replacing it. I didn't want to replace it and think it was fine. I didn't solve the problem and then drive down the road and have it again because it was like a pinched wire or something like that. So I like to go ahead and properly diagnose it all the way down to the actual part and confirm it, see if I can turn the issue and back on and back off. But anyway, hopefully this helps somebody out. Sorry I'm very long-winded. I like to talk about every single detail when it comes to these type of things, but hopefully you enjoyed this video, you learned something, and thank you guys for watching. All right, we replaced an injector, and to confirm the fix, we're scanning it. We got our fuel system. We made sure it went into closed loop, and we verified the short-term fuel trims. Everything started going down. It's still up a little bit, 5, but that's no big deal. And we're watching our injector faults. There's no faults occurring, and misfires. There was initial couple during, I think, the initial startup, just because there was no, you know, the system wasn't primed and everything, but no current misfires. Everything looks good. So issue is confirmed. It was the fuel injector.